back on. We're able to see
I hope you guys can hear me. Let's
the
hope.
chat
Let's,
messages should be able to display as well. That's what it's showing.
it says
Uh,
it's live now, but it's already been recorded. Or yeah,
is it live?
why are
Are we
we?
live?
No,
Yeah, we are live.
not yet. Okay, let me just recheck that.
We are live on Facebook and YouTube.
I don't think we're live on YouTube yet.
No, we are live. We're online.
Are we rolling? No, it's not showing up for me, Karan. Not yet.
Nothing. Uh, okay. Okay, we are live. You
Uh,
can. We are live. We got one viewer out here on
okay, let me
YouTube.
just recheck then. I don't know, man. Deepu, we're being.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
I can't
Facebook stream
utilize
is
it. So.
working. Devnath says, okay, let's go, guys. We are back on. Okay. So back on, guys. Thank you so much for waiting and for your patience. And now we're going to start with the round number 5 out here. So, Arati, interesting game so
Guys,
far.
let's go. I hope Bangalore gets this one in the bag. I think I want the same sort of race to be repeated where Deepu and Rex just battle it out one gate apart from each other. Let's see if that pans out pretty well.
Okay, guys, your race is going to start in the next 10 seconds. Please get ready till the countdown for the 5-second countdown. And let's go ahead with the race now. We're going to pick up the race from the point of view of Chesh 03 out here. Look at that. A beautiful firework kind of a display that we're getting. All these pilots making a good display of the arena with their tails. There are some neon lights out there, lightsabers, tinge of orange melting with the pink out there. And right now, Dishank is in the lead with Chesh, his wingman, protecting him right behind him. But
I
Dropbosh has
think
just
uh,
toppled over that. It's a very close competition at the top.
I think Rex did have a very bad start. I think he took off pretty late. I think like yes, NJ, tell us. GV is it? GV's out of the race. Um, Karan, at this event, what does the rulebook say? Like,
So if it's
if a pilot
technical
is being
issue, he
kicked out.
started, but he got out in between. So GB is lost. He's lost the round. So
Okay,
we,
so GV has lost the round.
yeah, GB has
So
lost the
we will be
round.
moving on. We'll be moving on, and
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
hopefully
continue with
see
the other
Dishank winning.
pilots.
All right. We hopefully see that Dishank is winning. Dishank does take a little bit of a crooked line towards all these things. He does look like he is 5 gates ahead of Rex, and hopefully this continues. Prop Wash and Lit the Wings are actually battling it out. If we can get a proper POV of these two, I think this should be a very close race for us to
Okay,
see.
let's switch to prop wash.
I think Prop Wash just had a crash or a minor issue where I think, crashed or missed the gate or something such as
Yeah,
so.
and that gives the Litwings. Litwings is really climbing really high right now, right behind Dishank. But Dishank
I
is far
think
away.
uh,
Dishank is
I
really
think
far away.
Dishank has taken away this race. Like he is miles ahead of the Wings and Rex.
It,
Whereas Prop Wash, I do not think can beat the Wings in this round. Seeing that at least 7 gates of difference, even if Little Wings crashes twice, I don't think we're going to see that Prop Wash can come ahead of Little Wings. Little Wings leading the whole Punjab team at the moment. Rex India right behind him, but I don't think Rex can pull one out of the bag and beat Dishank because now the gate difference is almost 20, and Dishank has finished. That's crazy, and Dishank is going to get 1 point for his team.
yeah, he's really getting into his drive over here, top gear. And look at that,
Um.
a competition between the pilots of the same team. Lit the Wings versus Rex.
Oh.
And Lit the
Okay.
Wings makes it.
The Wings coming in second in the whole race. Rex India right behind him. That was a pretty close race for them. Prop Wash just about making it. Chesh will be taking this round because of GV's technical glitch. So I mean, let's see.
So Dishank, Lit the Wings, and Rex have taken their points, and let's update the scorecard. Dishank has won this round number 5. Then Chesh has won also, and Lit the Wings has also won. So we are constantly updating the score sheet, and now 45 seconds until the next round number 6 is about to begin. So
So I
we are
think
halfway there now.
in this round, Team Bangalore just about came 1 point ahead of Udd Da Punjab, and this is again a very close race.
All right, so we are about 20 seconds away now from starting the next round.
I think GV still has to come back in. GV has to be put into pilot mode. GV
Okay,
has to be put
GB
into
has to
pilot
be
mode.
put into pilot mode. Okay,
Yes. Let's get that running and let's just finish this next round as well.
all right. So we fix GV's thing over here, and Fight Phantom is spectating right now. Okay, we locked the server. Fine.
Put the person who just joined into into spectating mode as well. I mean, put me into spectating mode as well. I mean, I'd love to see
Okay,
the different
let's
ones.
go pilots now. We're going to start with the 6th round over here. Everybody is ready, looks like, and the call goes out to the pilots to start the race. We're going to start straight away with Lit the Wings FPV in third person view. And Lit the Wings actually took off really late out here, Rathi. But
I don't even think Chesh has taken off in this round.
oh
Uh,
wow,
what does the rule suggest for the person who hasn't even started?
he
Uh,
automatically is disqualified.
he is DQ'd in this round, so I
Yes.
don't think. I think
But
that's a
Cash has
stop.
taken
Oh,
off now actually.
Chesh has taken off now, but can he pull one out of the bag and try to even beat GV, who is his main opponent? And Proposh and Lit the Wings actually are having a very close race. I don't know why Rex has fallen way below Lit the Wings as well. I mean, I think Rex was supposed to be the captain of the team, and it doesn't look like Rex is flying very far out. Whereas Lit the Wings is actually catching up to the likes of Dishank, and Dishank just completed his first lap and he's already into his second lap. Oh,
Right.
Rex the
So
India just bought one out of the bag, and now Rex again
yeah, Rex
is
is really showing his
second.
colors. Looks like he's really catching up to Dishank now. I mean, this is going to be a very close one, Rati. Dishank is being really followed and chased by Rex at this point in time, about just 2 gates away. What do you think if Dishank is really going to hold on to that pressure? How does that
If
pressure feel?
Dishank, the pressure, I mean, seeing Deepu or Dishank fly from a while, I think the pressure does get to Dishank. I mean, in real life, his hands start shaking so much when it comes to such close competition. But I think in sim races, he should be fine as there is no real pressure that we feel in real life racing that we have to perform. So I think Dishang just might pull this one out of the bag because I think Rex again had a crash and so did Lit the Wings. Proposh and Dishang both ahead. So is Chesh. Chesh just got over GVFPB. So I think all 3 points might just go to the Bangalore team. I mean, hopefully it does, but looks like Rex and Proposh are having a very close battle between themselves. Like they're 1 gate apart from each other constantly, and I hope that. Lithuanians does manage to follow up and overtake Rex to give Proposh FPV a little bit of a stickler to his rear end or something like that. Because that is really exciting. Rex has fallen behind Proposh by quite a few gates again. Don't know. I think Dishank is almost completing the race, and Dishank completes the race at 2 minutes 31 seconds. Followed very closely by Proposh FPV, who will get the lead in
Yeah,
this round
Proposh
as
has
well.
also completed. So it's really between, I mean, Rex. Well, there's not real competition now.
There is no real competition. The competition is going to be between Chesh and GV. Chesh, having such a late start, still pulled it out of the bag and overtook GV FPV. They are now 10 gates. I mean, there's a 10 gate difference between each of them. And if Chesh crashes, then there is a real probability of GV picking up picking up the pieces and still getting one score for his team. But at this point in time, it looks like Chesh is going to win it for his team. And yeah, I think Chesh is going to win this round and take one for the Bangalore team.
Yeah, that was a fantastic performance. But I mean, Lit the Wings should be a little disappointed. He started off really well in the first few rounds. I mean, he's just losing his gear, looks like. But and
I think I think the same goes with Rex as well. I think they were strong performers in the start and they were looking to be a real threat to the team, to the Bangalore team. But seeing that they are falling off and they're 8 seconds away from second place, it just does look like. I mean, it looks very distant at the moment. Until unless in the next round they can pull it back, because right now Team Bangalore just got 5 whole points, and it does look like Bangalore is winning at the moment with five. I think a 4 or 5 point lead.
so
Let's
Deekshant
look
won
at the
against Rex,
scoreboard.
Propwash won against Lit the Wings, and Chesh against GV. So all the 3 points for Bangalore in this round looks like. Yep, round number 6 ends with Bangalore taking all the 3 points. So that has been a booster of a round for Bangalore Buzzers. And the captain GV should be really worried now. What do you think, Rathi? He should really have Udd Da Punjab now back on track.
I think GV is a very good leader, but right now I think his sim skills, maybe there's a lot of network issues or something at the moment where GV is not being able to perform as a team captain should, or maybe he's just the captain and he is guiding his other pilots who are much faster than him towards the victory that they need. And maybe GV is just serving the role of a captain and motivating his team at the moment.
Yeah, so that's the story of round 6. All the 3 points going to the Bangalore Buzzers. And let's keep it short. Let's start in the next 35 seconds now, pilots.
All right, so Dave Powell just commented, "Hey Rathi, I will pull one out of my bag and hit you with it." Oh man. Okay.
What does that mean?
Uh,
What is that context? Did not get it.
so I think I just in the comments, I mean, while I was commentating, I said until unless they can pull one out of the bag quite a few times. So yeah, I think he's just gonna like hit me back with the whole. I'm gonna take a bag. I mean, I'm gonna take something out of the bag and hit you with it as well. So I think I'll stop using that phrase and I'll start using other phrases. I'll expand my dictionary, I think, or vocabulary. Sorry.
So this, I mean, this is the first time that you are co-commenting as a guest. What is it?
Yeah,
How has been your experience so far, Rathi?
a little glitchy, not gonna lie. But I mean, it's the first time, obviously. First time live streams always have glitches. I think we've seen that throughout IDRL, where now I mean, the race streams have gotten so much better, and I really like watching the live races now. Now with the live updates of all the of the score sheets, rather, like seeing where the pilots are, etc. I mean, in real life races are always fun, but now the streams picking up and it's much more fun than it was, say, maybe 6 months ago. I
Yeah,
think the first race that had this sort of a live stream was the Goa race. I was sadly not able to attend that race, but it was also the last race of this season,
yeah.
or the last season, I
NIT
would say.
Goa was the last one that we did, correct, before the crisis, COVID crisis.
Of course, of course.
So, are
Let's
you
move on to the
considering
next round.
getting back into your competition mode? Because you look good in that IDRL shirt, but I mean, just sitting out there and commentating, you're not yet retired or something like that. I mean,
Of course, I am not going to retire anytime soon, but of course, I think I will keep more towards in real life stuff because even though I have the computer that can run velocity drones properly and everything, there is just some sort of a problem. I think I have to hit up velocity drones with what issue I'm having. But if that issue gets sorted out, I'm definitely getting back into virtual racing as well. I mean, I look forward to virtual racing.
awesome. So let's get back to our zone here. One quick question from James. Bachchan, if I read it right. Not sure. When is the next race? Just for an update, guys, viewers, the next one that's coming up, it's going to be between really the top pilots of IDRL on the leaderboard, Jaipur and Hyderabad. You can pick up Shady and Devnath competing out there. And the next weekend, it's going to be so very exciting with some of the best racers in their teams also competing. It's going to be 3 against 3 as of now. But if you are from Hyderabad or Jaipur and would like to set a time and join that team, do go to IDRL, register, and start competing on the Velocidrone SAH championships. It's going to be episode number 3 next time. But right now, we are in the middle of completing this episode number 2. So, round number 7,
One
let's
second,
go ahead.
one second, Karan. I think James was asking about in real life races. Well, as long as the COVID situation exists, I don't think we'll be having any in real life races at the moment because no colleges are working, nobody can organize such a big race. And
Correct.
I mean, the situation in Bangalore is pretty chilled out where we can actually roam around a little bit. But I don't think it is the same in places such as Mumbai or Chennai or places where a lot of our own pilots are coming from. So obviously, if no pilot can attend a race, nobody would want to host the race as such. Second thing is nobody would want to take the risk of hosting such a big event on their college campuses and as such. So as long as this COVID situation lasts, I don't think we'll be having a in real life race at all. So I mean, until they find the vaccine, of course, then life can get back to normal, and then we can get back to in real life racing.
Yeah, we saw the cancellation of the MIT Pune event. That would have been a great one. A really nice track had been put up for it, but at the last moment, Pune got shut down because of crisis, and it was a real crisis out there for Pune. But hopefully, we should be back on. We are all courageous people. We get back on our feet, and by the end of this year, hopefully, we should be back on with the IRL. Did not get that IRL. Whoever mentioned it, I thought it as a misprint of IDRL. So apologies for that. So IRL is now officially in real life. Let's go with the round
I
number 7 pilots. We will start the race in the next 5 seconds and be ready on your podium right now because the race is starting now. Let's tune into the right kind of camera. We are picking up Dishank at this point in time.
Rex
And
again. Rex and Litwings both got a brilliant start. Rex is still leading, and Dishank is lagging to Rex just by a few gates. Hopefully, this is Rex's chance at redemption, and Rex does lead his team to victory, even though he is not the captain, of course. But I think Rex has shown that he is rather one of the best performers for Udd Da Punjab, and I hope that he at least gets the points that his team requires to push them back into the contention of contention of racing because right now Team Bangalore is winning by quite a margin, and again in this round, even if Dishank loses to Rex FPV, we will see that Proposh and Chesh both will score points for their team, still putting Udd Da Punjab under a huge loss.
right, so Rex is really setting the standard over here in round number 2. And Prop Wash, in fact, is catching up behind him. Dishank has fallen to spot number 3, but Dishank is right back into the game because, he wants to get up there and compete with Rex.
I think Dishank and Proposh are, I think they are the ones who are competing against each other, and Rex has just flown away from them pretty far off, like 8 to 10 gate lead against them. I mean, now it's coming down, obviously, but I think Deepu is catching up to Rex, and hopefully Deepu does catch up to Rex because, again, Bangalore, I want Bangalore to win, and let's see what happens.
Do you think
I think I
Dishank has a chance? He's pretty close behind Rex right now. I mean,
Maybe, but this is already lap 3. Until unless Rex does make a mistake, that'll be like a really costly mistake for Rex. But if Rex does not make a mistake, I think he'll be flying just fine. But if okay, see
oh,
again,
Dishank has
Rex did make a
come back. I
mistake.
mean,
Dishank just came up
yeah, you
from
never know of
nowhere
these
and just took that
pilots.
up.
Look at that. They are just
They're
ripping it
milliseconds
up.
apart from
Yeah.
each other, and they're at each other's throats, and I mean, it's going crazy right now.
Yeah, look at that. It's
Dishank just
just
taking
about
lead, just
three
about.
gates away,
Yeah,
and
exactly. Sadly enough, I don't see
oh wow, it's
Litwings doing.
so close at the very end. I'm my God, and Dishank has taken the win out here against
Oh,
Rex.
that is
He came
that
back from
that
behind,
is.
Dishank for sure, and Rex just lost in the last lap out there to Dishank.
I think this is going to prove a very costly round for Udd Da Punjab as they've lost all the 3 points since Chess just finished ahead of GV FPV.
Yeah, it's the
So
exact same replica of the last round, if I'm not mistaken. All the 3 points going for
to the Bangalore Buzzers.
yeah, and this is inconsequential between Lit the Wings and GV. So we will record the points as all three gone away for Bangalore.
I mean, this is a very, again, it's a very costly mistake for Urta Punjab. Like, I think Rex did mess it up in the start, and Lithwings just, I think he would have also crashed in the start or messed up somewhere because I saw that the wings dropping quite a few times, and I think Lit the Wings is, I mean, Proposh is a little bit more consistent than Lit the Wings, and that is giving Proposh FPV the edge he has against Lit Wings.
So one thing for me, I mean, I've seen it consistently. I mean, they start off really in sync with each other. I mean, nearly three-fourth of the lap in the first lap, they are very, very close to each other. You know, until say gate number 30 or 33, and then the lap difference and the gate difference really starts increasing. So what's the reason for that? I mean, why does this happen? Is this inconsistency between their form? Is it pressure? What is it going on?
I think rather than looking at the mental strategy there, you should be looking at the track in itself. Like it is a dive gate and a pricing gate, and all these things in combination. Where I'm pretty certain not. I mean, at least I'm not. I'm not very confident with the dive gate, and so are the other pilots. Also, they may be facing a little bit of an issue when it comes to things such as dive gates, and especially like again, I will emphasize on dive gates because it is a make or break element for pretty much anyone on this track. You've seen Deepu winning against Rex in the dive gate and the vice versa, whereas GV is losing out a lot of time. GV and Chesh both are losing out on a lot of time when it comes to dive gates. So here we have to like up till this gate, it's very not that very technical. But once you get to the gate number 30, is when you start seeing that each and every millisecond and each and every bit of output that you throw at the drone makes a huge difference in their timing, and that's why you see one racer pull away from the other.
So
I
now,
think
I
that
mean, GV
is.
should be really worried. I mean, like Udd Da Punjab, I mean, Bangalore back to back. I mean, there are just about three more rounds remaining. What do you think is the strategy? Obviously, the last round number 10 is going to be anybody's game, you know, three-pointer. So, how do you think the next two rounds should be handled by GV? I mean, if he has to really lead it for the team out here.
If it is for the team, I would say that GV should motivate maybe again keeping Rex and Litwing's form that they had from the start up till at least the gate number 30 and keep putting pressure on both Proposh and Deepu in such a way that they keep coming in front of Deepu and Proposh, whereas then the mental game starts where they will start. Deepu and Proposh will both start pulling behind because they keep seeing so much green in front of them that they'll be like, okay, these guys are way faster than us. Maybe we should like calm ourselves down or something like that. But since this is a sim race, you never know if that is going to be a strategy because these drones do not collide with each other. Whereas in real life, we have a lot of scenarios such as mid-airs and everything. I mean, Devnath here, who's watching the stream, knows a lot about mid-airs. I think
Yeah,
one of
we've
the
seen
mid-airs
a lot of
is
crashes
very
out
expensive
there
for
in the
him.
real world between Devnath and Oroboro especially. And
Yeah,
now,
yeah, yeah. And not only that, like since me and Devnath, I mean, a lot of us from the IDRL community had gone to Malaysia for attending a race over there. What had happened was, I think Devnath was coming in the top 16, but drone just went at the back of him, and Devnath lost his antenna. Sadly enough, and Devnath fail safed and he lost the race, which was a very big shock for us because he traveled so far just to try and see Devnath at the very top of his game, and obviously that didn't happen. And we were obviously sad about the fact that it didn't happen, but we support him nonetheless, and we know that he'll do very well in the future.
So we want to talk more about that Asia drone race, but later. Right now, we're going to pick up after that expert advice from Rathi of Team Bangalore. Right now, co-commenting with us with his expert advice. Let's go and start round number 8 out here. But before that, a quick view at the score sheet right now. That's how it stands. The points will be calculated a little later, but round number 7 was again a replica of round number 6. Bangalore is on the high gear out here. Let's see what happens with round number 8 and 9, and obviously the big one where the 3 points are to take away that is the decider could be in the round number 10. So let's go ahead now and plug in into round number 8.
I don't exactly know who Dave Powell is, but it sounds like Aman.
All right, so
I'm
let's go
pretty
ahead
sure
in
it's
the
Aman.
next 5 seconds. Your race is going to start, pilots. So be ready on the podium. And we will start the race now. Catching up first with Lit the Wings FPV. He has as a wingman. He has to do really well. Look at that, and he has really taken the lead. And Rex really supporting him. Udd Da Punjab is playing a good lion's share of their strategy. The pride of the Lions has to be maintained if they have to be against that buzzing buzzers of Bangalore. They have really
Deepu has not taken off because his computer apparently has issues where his computer hanged, and sadly he will not be competing in this race. I wanted to see more of Deepu and Rex battling it out, but at the moment I think GV can just tell his pilots to ease off from each other and take it a little lightly, at least for Rex, because Rex is going to win the round nonetheless. But obviously, he should motivate Lit the Wings to do better because
but
Prop
look at
Wash
that, Rati. Look
is.
at that prop wash is coming right behind. I mean, he's really putting it up
Yeah, yeah,
with
no,
Rex and Lit the
Dishank,
Wings. Look at
Chill
that
Dishank,
white
we
just
told.
bisecting the green trails out there.
1 second, I'll just.
Prop Wash is really taking up the lead with Rex FPV. Let's follow Rex FPV and look at it from the first person view. We have not really covered the first person view for you guys. It's really gorgeous to view this track from the first person view, and we will stick to this kind of FPV view because you can see really, I mean, down that roller coaster drive. Look at how high speed these drones really are flying, and Rex is really setting the stage out here with his flying mechanism. And exactly this is how the races happen in the real world. These days the simulators are getting close to perfection of mimicking the real world. So it's really like you are really competing in the real world now, and it's super
And
exciting.
as I'd said before, Rex just about missed his, missed the dive gate and did a very big error there where he lost a lot of time. And again, you can see that Rex is losing a lot of time here and there. But I think Deepu would have picked up if he was competing in this round. Deepu, unfortunately, his computer hung, and technical difficulties have him kind of backed out of this race. But I'm pretty sure if Deepu was here, he could have pulled one out of the bag. Right now, the more intense competition is between Prop Wash and Lit the Wings. If we can switch over to Prop Wash and Lit the Wings, I think we'll get a very good perspective of their race.
Right, so let's trace Prop Wash and Lit the Wings out here. Prop Wash, look at that. Need to take that from a different angle. Look at that. Both of these drones are competing head to head. Maybe an oversight view will help us get a better understanding of their closeness to each other. And let's follow them again.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Lit the Wings just takes it
Oh,
by
wow. Lit the Wings really
by
took
a
it up. Prop Wash
hundredth
was
of a
really close
by
out there.
100 milliseconds, Prop Wash loses out to Lit the Wings, and Lit the Wings will be very happy seeing that he's getting points for his team. They are closing in on the deficit that they had last round to Team Bangalore, whereas Chesh, again being one of the more consistent scorers for this round, is going to score another point for Team Bangalore, losing. The Bangalore Buzzers, who are going to take a much lesser hit than they would have if GV would have overtaken Prafula or Chesh.
So the story of this round, Rex took it up with 1 point. Dishank really fell away from his server connection out there and consequently was disqualified. 0 points for Dishank. GV in the meantime finished last. So Chesh 0-3 takes away that 1 point from him and lit the wings against Prop Wash. Lit the wings from Udd Da Punjab. Really took it over and made it that round number 8 his. So within the next 35 seconds, we will be starting round number 3. But so overall, were you happy, Rathi, with some of the performances that you saw? Anyone in particular of this round that really stood out for you?
I think the closeness. I mean, Rex messing up one of the dive gates and like missing his lines, which cost him a little bit more. And I think Lit the Wings and Prop Wash FPV up to the last gate they were fighting each other, where it looked like Prop Wash was ahead, but then Lit the Wings came ahead of him, and that whole intense the backlash of. I mean, at least the back end of Lit the Wings and Prop Wash was very, very, very intense and like very, very, very close. Whereas GV, I think, is still lacking the speed that he needs, and hopefully GV does do better against Chesh because Chesh is proving out to be a much more consistent pilot than GV at least.
All
Uh,
right,
so
so
so let's just see where Dishank is.
yeah, let's
Okay,
spot for
Dishank
Dishank.
says that he's back.
He's
So
back.
let's just check
Okay.
on the server if he is back or not.
All right, let's check out the players.
Uh,
And yeah, Dishank is back. He's flying.
Karan, could you just put me into spectating instead of flying? Real quick.
Oh yeah, for sure. There you go. Locked it up. And all right, so get ready, pilots. Your race is about to start in the next 10 seconds with the countdown of 5. Get back to the podium and get ready to get started for this next round number 9 coming up for you. And let's start now, boys. There you go. At the count of less than 5, we're going to catch on with Dishank. He's the pilot to watch of this round. He was unfortunately disconnected the last time around, but this time we will really be hopeful if he can lead his team Bangalore. And right now he's at spot number 4. So Dishan really comes back from behind, doesn't he, Rathi? I mean, he stays close to the pilots, but then he really capitalizes when somebody makes an error.
And exactly what you just saw right now, where I think Dishank just pulled one out of the bag and he was just a little bit faster than the other two pilots and he's just gotten ahead with Chesh leading so far up. I mean, this is the first time I think I saw Chesh at the leader as the leader of the race, and I was like very surprised to see Chesh being up there. And now Chesh has fallen back into fourth place, but right now we see that the order looks like Bangalore is still going to win this round as well, and that puts an intense amount of pressure in the last rounds. Where if Punjab doesn't pull all of its strings, then they are going to lose this round because there is no clarity as to how many points they will require at the end. And maybe at the ninth round itself, you will see that Bangalore has had such a huge lead that maybe it's impossible for Punjab to even try and come back to it.
Right. So
But at the moment, we keep seeing that Proposh FPV is losing out to Litwings, and Litwings is much ahead of Propwash, and I don't think like Propwash is going to get the point that his team requires.
yeah, Profosh is really at spot number 5, and really GB is leading from the back. It looks like not really up to his best play right now. As the
Dishank,
captain, so the two captains at the very corners, 1 and 6 of the game right now. Let's switch to FPV view of Rex. How do you think Rex is playing? Like his lines are very clean, Rathi. I mean, he's a good pilot, right? I mean,
I think Rex is losing out on the dive gates. If Rex does fix his dive gates issue within, I mean, this round, then only will he have a possibility of like getting those points back. But at the moment, Dishank looks way more consistent throughout the track rather than Rex. Rex does have a little bit of the edge when it comes to the starting part of the track, but you can see Dishank when it comes to the complicated elements. Dishank's experience just pushes Dishank a little bit ahead of Rex every round, and you keep seeing that their difference keeps building up.
Right. And
Dishank finishing. Again, as you can see, Rex was 9 seconds behind Dishank, but at the start, at least to the first 30 or first 22 gates, you could see that Dishank was almost the back of the pack, as Dishank even started very late. But right now, you see Rex has just about lost to Dishank by 9 seconds, and that's in racing time. That's almost a year. So as long as Rex does not get the dive gates right, I don't think he has the capability or the uh, or like at least like he can't pull this one through, and that may create a problem for him. GV still flying.
yeah, he's
GV
just
is
trying to complete his last lap out there, and
yes.
Ishank
I
is
think GV could have used a little bit more time on the sim, and a little bit more practice would have pushed him above Chesh. You can see that Chesh did complete this round in 3 minutes 10 seconds, even ahead of Prop Wash FPV. Chesh, I think this was one of Chesh's best rounds. Um, I think that was Chesh's best lap as well, because um, I have like at the start we could see that Chesh and Proposh were trying to fight with Rex and Lit the Wings, and Deepu came all the way from sixth to first in this round flawlessly. I think this is a very good clutch, as I would say, from Dishank.
right. So there you are. Round number nine has completed, and it would be interesting to tally up the points right now uh, before we head into round number 10, and if we can see if any team has a chance to come back from behind. So as it stands right now, and let's switch to the score sheet quickly so all of us can take a look at it together, and let's also get this in the horizontal sway a little bit towards the right. You can see out there that's the round number 9, and the total points you can also see next to the team names out there. So if we just tally up the total points of each of the pilots, Udd Da Punjab is 3 plus 1 plus 4, that's 8 points for Udd Da Punjab, and then it's going to be 5 plus 7, that's 12 already, and 4, so that's 16 if I'm not mistaken. So 16 against 8 is already the story of Bangalore Buzzers, and round number 10. Oh, but the gameplay of the rules right now, maybe we should consider changing it later. Right now, the rule is that only one team and one pilot can walk away with the 3 points. So audio is gone. No, you're. I mean, it's just the laptop that's
My voice is gone, so
okay. Can they
let's
hear you
see.
now?
Okay, so I think as soon as you put up the scorecard, my
Yeah, the
this
score
one
sheet
goes, my
is
voice
doing
goes.
something. Not sure what happening.
Okay, so why don't you just go back into the race view and then we'll talk about the scores.
Okay.
I think if you guys can hear me now, just say what's up on the Discord or on any of the comments. All right. One question by Shashi Kumar C. Does anyone use FPV from Shimoga? I don't have knowledge of that. I don't think anybody has FPV systems in. I mean, are flying FPV in Shimoga. Otherwise, I would have definitely met them when I had gone to Shimoga for flying. I had visited a really cool place over there. So if you are starting off in Shimoga, or at least like you can hit me up, man. You can hit me up on my Instagram. It's rati.fev. You hit me up. I'll guide you through what to do and how to take parts and how to fly this. How to at least get into the world of FPV. Yeah, so talking back about the scorecards, where we saw that Urta Punjab is at 8 points and Bangalore is already at 16 points. We see that if Bangalore does extend its lead by 10 points from Urta Punjab even before the last round, I think Urta Punjab is going to lose this at the ninth round itself, and the 10th round will be just a showcase race for that matter of fact.
Yeah,
Because
so round actually 9 rounds are over, and I think Bangalore have already taken the win over here. And because round 10, it just is 3 points for one team and one pilot. That's what the rule is right now. And
Oh,
maybe,
okay. So it's not triple the points. My bad.
yeah,
So
right.
even if Rex does pull this race off and he gets through his inconsistencies, which is there at the dive gate, I don't think they do have a hope of winning. Sad as it is to say, but I think the form of Deepu from the fourth round has been pushing the team much more towards the end goal of winning. And I think the consistent points that were delivered by Prafulla, you can see that he's won 8 of these 9 rounds, and one round where he lacked was detrimental for the team where it kept the competition close. But his constant points have been giving this whole thing, I mean, this whole race quite a big leap because GB has not been able to perform as much as the team captain should have, and I think a little bit more what do you call a little bit more practice would have helped him quite a
So,
bit.
a quick bite before we get into the last round. What do you think Punjab needs to go into the next race coming up? Because they obviously need some re-strategizing over here massively. Maybe some
Um,
shift of roles out here. Do you think, or if GB is still in the position to lead as a captain, what do you think is going to happen out here?
I think GV does come in with the most experience in the Punjab team because I think I've seen GB flying for almost 3.5 or 4 years. I mean, at the same time as me or somewhere close by. But the I think there is no strategy that Urta Punjab can pull off to get this one into their corner because I think they're backed up against a wall in this point of time, and like the Bangalore team, the Bangalore Buzzers are just bullying them at this point in time by even going through with this race because Bangalore has come up way ahead of that of the Urta Punjab. Can we just again have a look at the score sheets and just differentiate
Right. Maybe your
between?
voice would be lost. Maybe we can. Okay. Okay, so as it stands right now, I'm just maybe Rathi is not audible to the audience right now, so I'm just going to give him some useful information so that we can switch back to the pit area view and then he can comment. So the total points for Urta Punjab is 3 plus 1 plus 4, that gives a total of 8 points, and Bangalore Buzzers is 5 plus 7, that's 12, plus 4, that's 16. So it's really half the points that Urta Punjab have right now. So it's 16 against 8, and so we turn back to the pit area. So 16 against 8. I mean, this is a huge victory for Team Bangalore out there.
I think, yeah, again, as I said, Chesh's constant performance compared to that of his teammates is like, I mean, compared to that of GB, has been pushing Team Bangalore miles ahead of Punjab, whereas I mean the captain should have been the lead scorer. There are some doubts again in the scoring. I think we are at round number 9 and not round number. I mean, we are at round number 9, not round number 10.
Yeah, we are going to
So
land into round number 10 now. 9 times 3 score total. Jasim Mullah's is after 9 rounds. So 9 rounds is good. Uh, no, 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 no. Yeah, okay. Total.
Number 9 and not at round number 10 at the moment.
No, but we okay, hold on. So maybe there is a mistake in the spreadsheet somewhere in the calculation. Oh, this is actually 4 points. So it's actually four. I'm sorry about that. So maybe this was not pointer. So if you look at that, there's a correction that's going to happen out there. So yeah, let's quickly correct the sheet. Thank you, viewers, for correcting that. It's one, two, three, and four after 8 rounds. After 9 rounds, it's 4 points for Rex FPV. So it should be really till not till P 26. Maybe this was left out, but I don't know why it. Yeah, hold on. Hold on. I'm just correcting some points over here. I'm just correcting the formulas did not take into account the first column actually. So what happened was it was just calculating from round number 2 to round number 9. So we have to take into account the first round. That is going to make the difference out there. Let's right. So yeah, I mean Devnath is really helping us to fix that one. So we leave up that job to Devnath without any interference. But anyway, you can see the live score as Devnath is updating it on the score sheet right now. Udd Da Punjab is still at points number 10, and Bangalore Buzzers 17 points in their bag after round number 9. So 27 is the total. That's how we have landed to 9 rounds of completion. And now that makes total sense out there. So So yeah, I mean, 9 rounds are done. Round number 10 is now to be done. Okay, yeah. Let's move on to the pit area. So Rathi, we have completed 9 rounds and 10 is to 17. Kurta Punjab versus
I
Bangalore Buzzers.
I don't think Udd Da Punjab will pull one off the bag. Even if I think at the moment, even if all the three Bangalore pilots don't even take off, I think they still have one. And just because of their consistency in scoring the points, I think Chesh played a huge role when it came up against the team leader GVFPV. And if I think GVFPV wouldn't have would have done a little bit more practice. Maybe he could have been giving Chesh, who is rather the most consistent point scorer of this whole round,
Right.
uh, a run for his money, and maybe then the final race would have been as exciting as maybe we should have seen it. But
So one
this
important question
is
for you, Rati. You have been in a lot of races. You have really, I mean, participated in a lot of tough tracks also. So even if you practice a lot, like you obviously need to practice, but is that practice sufficient enough for the race day when it really happens? Because we usually have a practice day and a race day. But do those skills at the practice day really translate into the race day? Has that really been an issue with you or not?
okay, so initially, I mean, we've seen like IDRL developing quite a lot. As I mean, the in real life stuff where we used to come to a race event and the track wouldn't be set up properly. There was some
Right.
miscommunication. To where now where it is where the track does get ready for us by the afternoon, and then we can start flying.
Practice
We can
rounds.
start flying the drones on the practice rounds as well. That did make like a huge amount of difference when it came to the consistency of the track. We started doing virtual racing as well just to get a little bit more practice in comparison. But sometimes what happens is the real life track, as we saw in Dehradun, had a lot of other changes and a lot of dimensional changes compared to that of the virtual racing. So I mean, anybody who practiced virtually was like already in the back foot for that race. And then we also saw that during the practice day itself, we found out a lot of flaws with the track, and we were updating it constantly. So, does the practice day make a huge difference? It does because, uh, I mean, until and unless you're like the likes of Ritwik Nasri or Ouroboros FPV
Yeah,
and Devnath, because these guys show up to a track, they already know that they're fastest, and we only go to races to maybe get third place when it comes to those two racing, because we know that they're already going to be there at the top at the uh, number one and the number two position. Maybe again, Ouroboros FPV with his history of breaking pretty much the whole drone before the race day even starts.
yeah.
Uh, there might be like that whole issue where he might not start. So apart from that, I think we all know that Devnath would come first or second or even third for that matter of fact if there is some amount of bad luck to it. Now we've started seeing a clear pattern that Aman Virani or the Law FPV has
Right.
also
He's
been
really, I mean, the young kid is really doing well. He's winning back to
yeah,
back
yeah, yeah.
races.
He's not even 18 and he's pretty much earned way more money than most of us did when we
Right.
were 21, right?
And he's now also
That
captaining for Hyderabad, his team, the next one that's
exactly.
coming
I
up.
am
Yeah.
I am waiting for that because let's just say Aman and Devnath have had the closest fights in real life. I
Yeah.
mean, that would be a lie. I mean, Ritwik and Devnath did have a lot of fights in real life, but I think Aman has just been stepping up his game, and he's come from the shadows, as he wants to
I
call
know.
himself, shady FPV, as I think.
You remember
I
Sky
think.
Pirates was like Sky Pirates was also a
Oh
kid that
yes.
really came behind, like, and then, I mean, suddenly disappeared. Now he's preparing for his IIT, JE entrance and stuff. So hopefully he'll be
I
back.
think I think Aradhya was like a very big surprise for Team Bangalore because he was begging us to take him into Team Bangalore about a race before he showed his actual flying skills. Where within the span of 8 weeks, he pretty much beat anybody out there. Old veteran pilots like Pravesh, Devesh, Mateen, all these people were so surprised with this performance because he just came out of nowhere, won everything, and just showed us our place. You can say that. Like, it was hectic to see Sky Pirates FPV just pretty much jump so ahead of the curve, and like that really shows a testament to what he was made up of. And like we immediately invited him to the old school Team Bangalore. Obviously, that Team Bangalore days used to be fun, where like we would see old school pilots like Manju and Devesh just fight it out constantly, race after race. Like right now, Devnath and Ouroboros have been giving us races. So that has always been like one of the, I mean, that has always been a constant theme, right? Where we see two of the top pilots, and the third one is probably just squeezing in his time, and like they're beating each other. Where we see a lot of exciting races for the third place itself.
All right, so we'll come back to you, Raki, because one of the pilots is actually now on the chat, and that's a little too upsetting for me. So let's get into the round number 10 out here. Deepu, let's get on Dishank with all your pilots. Round number 10 coming up for you guys. Any moment now, pilots, in the next 15 seconds. Get ready, pilots, for the next and the final round number 10. This is the one that will give the Pirates 3 points. And nevertheless, no matter who wins or loses over here, these 3 points are nevertheless going to be critical for any pilot or any team, because we have a system where we are going to add up all these points together, and that's going to value up to a pilot match value as well as a team match value, which is going to further give them access to higher levels of standings and whatever we're going to plan for the rest of the season. This is the group stage, by the way. Let me clarify for the viewers who have not been initiated about this. This is the group stage going on right now. We're going to have at least 12 episodes for this season, and after the group stage is over with these 6 teams that we have lined up so far, These six teams are going to then enter into a knockout stage, and after the knockout stage, we're going to have semi-finals, finals, and then going to have an exhibition race where we're going to have an all-India team of A versus B that's going to competing. But so an exciting season finale also is coming up for season two, and we're going to announce a very important partnership this week with an international organization, which is going to start another new chapter in the IDRL books with our many competitive pilots gracing that particular event. So let's go ahead with this round, pilots, on your podium now, and
I
let's
hope all the pilots are ready. Let's
yes,
just
all the
confirm that they're
pilots
all
are
ready.
ready. We look like, and let's get it now. Let's start on the podium. This is the last round coming up. This is round number 10, and let's switch to the FPV view, and the side views
And
are
they're
coming
off.
on. There you go.
Again, Rex starting very brilliantly. But let's just see if Rex will lose out in the ending bit where we have seen Rex losing out on uh, quite the places when it comes to the direct gates or the gates which are near the trees, the hex gates there. As you can see, Chesh just got a very good start. Again, Team Bangalore's already won, so I'm pretty sure they're all celebrating. They're all having a nice gala time
Yeah.
among themselves. But I don't think like they're having any pressure. But Chesh suddenly looks to be
Oh yeah.
ahead of Litwings as well. Now dropping down again. I don't think anyone except Chesh has been taking this round seriously. Where you can see that Deshank is also just flying lazily, but still coming ahead of Chesh. Prop Posh, I think, has given
Dishak is
up
now back on. I
because
mean, he stopped spot number two. Chesh is fallen back to spot number three out here. And look at that.
I think,
GV is not really at the last spot now. He's improving now.
yeah, I think Prop Posh is just chilling. He's like, I'm done. I think like I did enough for the team, and yeah, he's just having a nice time. I think he wants some follow footage. As you know, there's a lockdown in force, so I think he just wants to give follow footage to GV. And GV again, sadly, has dropped down again back to sixth place. I think GV just scored the 1 point, which was kind of a bummer for GV being the team captain and all sorts. But you can see that I think he was heavily reliant on his other two pilots who did do much better than him. I mean, every round you can say like GV maybe have pulled off one round against Chesh, and sadly that does not do enough for the team, and you can see that as
But look
a
at
big
that now,
effect on
Rati,
the.
Rex and Chesh. I mean, for a fun last round out there. Look at that
I think
competition there happening now,
yeah,
right up
let's just
there.
switch to the FPV feed real quick before the race ends, of course.
FPV view.
Uh, yeah. Why not? Let's just go to Chesh's FPV view, or
Okay,
yeah, because Chesh has been doing quite well this round. I think
look at
Chesh
that.
is giving it his all, and Chesh is just pushing his boundaries compared to that of the Shank and Prop Wash, who have seemed to gone and sat on their lazy chair, chilling with a drink or something in their hand. Like they know that they've earned that gift voucher by Get TBS again, our sponsors. And I think they've done a really good job here. This is rather, I mean, it's a very one-sided race, and Rex wins it. He
Yeah,
takes 3 points for Udd Da Punjab, but
that's it. I
I think
mean,
that's it.
actually, Team Punjab now takes away the 3 points, but that
Excuse me.
is, as we said, inconsequential. And the race ends over there. The rest of the timings don't really matter, but nevertheless, we'll still, for the sake of our viewers, we'll still keep tuning into these pilots as they complete the lap. And meanwhile, just take a quick look at the score sheet, the final draw out here that has taken place. The last round is complete now. And let's take at score sheet view over here quickly. The score sheet as it stands right now at round number 10, we updated through to 3 points for Rex with the other pilots taking 0 points because only one pilot and one team can take away the 3 points. That is why the bracket says 3 over here, round number 10. And if we had more pilots, more than six, that is more than three per team, then we would have done rounds five with groups A and B. But that's not the case over here. That's why round number five is also written bracket three. But right now it's round number 10. And the final score, let's take a look at the final score. We might have to Yeah, there you are on the screen. Let's just adjust the view for a clearer one out here. You can see it clearly. Udd Da Punjab finally is has scored 13 points, but it's the Bangalore Buzzers who have taken up the 17 points out here, and they have won season 2, episode 2 of this fantastic episode between the Udd Da Punjab Lions and the Bangalore Buzzers. And what an entertainer this has been, Arati. I hope you actually enjoyed it. Not only
You
commenting it, but also seeing these pilots in action. And obviously, there is a lot
are
of
you
talk
back into
ahead,
pit?
but we
Are
would
you back
like
into
to
pit
have
view?
some of your very interesting comments now going on.
Yeah. So, uh, Reaper Grim says Rathi bias commenting. I mean, I'm from Bangalore, man. What do you expect? Obviously, there'll be bias commenting, and like I think I've flown with both Prafula and Deepu enough to know their skills and to know what they're capable of and what they lack in or what their weaknesses are. I don't think I've flown with Prof Posh FEV yet. I think he's pretty new to the scene, and I look forward to flying with him, obviously. But yeah, I mean, these guys are here in my city, and I fly with them quite frequently. At least I used to fly quite a lot with Deepu, at least the racing and all these things. And for freestyle, I usually go out with Chesh quite a bit. We go hit some spots far off in the city and all these things. So yeah, there's a massive home love for. I mean, obviously, there's a massive home love
So we
for
had one
Bangalore.
extra supporter from Bangalore today. Maybe that made the difference. All the cheering that happened from your side really put in all that guts into. And Dishank, I mean, he came back into that from round number 4, I guess, or something like that, and
Yeah, I
really took
think
his team away.
I think Deepu just got his confidence back, and he was like, you know what, let's just do this. Or I think he was maybe trying to instigate a bit of hope into the Punjab. This one that he didn't want to end the race. I mean, end Punjab's race back in 7 rounds itself, where this last thing wouldn't have been as exciting. But I think Deepu did a very smart move by coming first at the ninth round, or I can say I think a few rounds before that itself, he was in the lead. Where we saw that the first three races was so exciting, where Punjab was back on top, but then Deepu just slammed Rex's hand like right back and just won against Rex pretty much hands down all
Right.
the time. And again, the consistency of these points, especially Chesh winning against GVFEV, made a huge difference in this game. I think that was, I think they took Chesh quite lightly, and because of which, yeah, I think
And
that
probably you
was.
must have not seen Litwing's FPV flying before. Did you
I
have a chance to analyze his gameplay, sort of where he needs to improve
I
and
think
things like that?
with Litwings, he is going up pretty well, and I think again both Rex and Litwings are losing out on those elements. So I think if both of them practice in real life those kind of elements, or at least do a lot of sim races with those sort of elements, I think that'll be just perfect because uh, these guys lost it only on the dive gates and the turning from the dive gates, where I could
Correct.
see that they were a little lost and they didn't know exactly where they were pointing. So that was a huge, what do you call it? That was a huge differentiating factor when it came to Deepu and all these things because Deepu is. I mean, I've seen Deepu race for 3.5 or 3 years now, I can say
Right.
almost. So I know where Deepu comes from and the amount of experience he carries over from all the in real life IDRL races and puts them into a virtual sim. Whereas I think Rex I saw last time in Dehradun, flying in Dehradun and all sorts. GV, I've been seeing him fly for a while. I think GV just needs to work on his flying a lot more when it comes to in real life as well. And in terms of sim, obviously, with the whole lockdown situation, you can't really do too much of in real flying. But I think GV should be the candidate to improve upon because I think out of all these people, GV has been in the scene for longer than them. And if you see GV being beaten up rather, I can say bullied by PropWash FPV here, who's almost very recently joined into the whole FPV scene. You can see that GV FPV has a lot of homework to do and a lot of getting back at. I
So,
mean,
so if you would have to pick one pilot from either of these teams, like who gave the best performance? I mean, not for this particular round. But overall, who is the pilot that you would really have confidence in? Like let's say you were the captain and you
Um.
had to pick a wingman.
Okay. So of course, I mean, there was no other better captain for this round than Deepu. Huge props to Deepu for taking up this role and all sorts. And I think I would take up obviously Deepu to be the right hand man if I was the captain. But obviously, I wouldn't even be Deepu's second
So
hand
that's
man
from
after
Team
seeing
Bangalore.
Prop
And what about
Wash.
from Punjab? Who would you pick from Punjab?
From Punjab, I would pick up Rex because Rex was much faster than that of Dishank, at least in the initial bit, and he is much faster than, I mean, at least a little bit faster than Prop Wash and uh, Chesh, obviously, because that was a problem. And I think Rex may not have the experience of a captain, but I think the team can bank upon his skills to win. I would say, like, as a right hand man, I can completely bank upon him to help me win this competition. Where, like, I know that he might even overtake me, but I'll be completely fine with it because he is still winning one for the team, right?
Oh yeah, and so, I mean, any closing comments, Rathi? I think we are right about at midnight now, and I think we should let the viewers go and have them wish a good Sunday tomorrow. But if you have any
Yeah.
closing comments, any anticipation for the next race, or best wishes for the pilots coming up next, Hyderabad versus the top pilots from Jaipur. That's going to be a real cracker of a race. I mean,
I hopefully I'm invited for that race. That race would be super exciting because again, it's the two fastest. One of the I mean, the two fastest people who are flying sims at least right now. That is the Law FPV or Shady and Devnath. This is going to be a super close competition where we have seen Devnath's junior Vishal and the newcomer Bangos or Bangus. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name
yeah.
wrong, man. Like I actually haven't met you, nor have
Yeah,
I
Bungo.
ever had an
Bungo is what
interaction
he
with you.
says, but Bungos, yeah, that's what we call it.
All right.
Yeah,
So I think these guys come with a lot of sim racing in the back, where I think uh, Devnath's strategy from the beginning was do well in the sim, you'll do well in real life, and because of my computer issues, I haven't been able to follow that. But I'm pretty sure, following his words, I would also be leaps and bounds ahead of where I currently am, like in terms of racing, where I'm so much in real life racing, I'm so far behind Devnath and Shady. Again, Shady got his FEV skills only from the sim, and he's only been racing sims for the longest time, I would say. And you can see that in their flying. They are very precise, very consistent, and they know where to go and how to execute a certain race line, which makes a huge amount of difference. I
right.
think in the initial virtual races, we've always been seeing that Devnath and Shady have had the most amount of competition in between their teams, and I think this trend is going to continue.
Thank you so much for those closing comments, Rathi, and we look forward to actually have you as a guest again, a commentator on the next one. It's going to be important to have your inputs if you're available. We'll definitely connect with you, and it would be great to have you for the next one as well.
That sounds so good.
Thank you so much.
Okay, a few of the closing comments I would like to see from the stream as well. Deepu Shankar, the team captain for Bangalore, says Rathi taught me to turn when I started. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Let's just
So what does
say
that mean? The turn?
Deepu.
I mean the yawing or what?
Yeah, so as you know, in a race squad, you can't just turn like this and turn one of the axes. It'll do this, and you need to mix both the inputs where your turn actually does
You're
this instead
rolling
of it
and
going
yawing at the
like
same time.
this. Exactly. So when I think initially when I did see Deepu trying these moves, and I was like, Deepu, what are you doing? I don't think that's how you turn. And I mean, I obviously knew that's not how you turn. So I told him, mix this, mix that a little bit. When you do all these things, then only you will get like somewhere with it. Right now, I think the only problem with Deepu's in real life flying is one, which is the throttle bashing, and second is the nervousness he gets. You can see Deepu just doing this.
Oh yeah.
His hands are completely shaking, and that is
But I mean, like he's
yeah.
competed in a lot of races now. But how does that still like? Is it just purely mental? Like how does he get control over his nerves? Like what would you recommend for Deepu?
I mean, see that like. Deepu, I have seen flying when it comes to in real life is, I mean, out of the racetrack is very ferocious. You can say like he's going at it rather quickly and all sorts, and that does make him a very big competition for me itself. And when it comes to races, I don't know what gets into his nerves or I don't think he can handle the pressure as such. So he does kind of lack that skill after a point in time. And I think if he gets these nerves under control, um, he has a lot of room for improvement. And you can see him fighting with the likes of Vishal, Aman, and even Jivitesh Debata. Huge love to Debata as well. I mean,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
missing him in the stream.
and
I don't know where he is.
I think you missed commenting for Tabata's team out there last time.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
interesting.
I
Hope you
think
watched it live, the first episode. Did you get a chance?
I kind of, I mean, I tuned in here and there, and I did see Debata getting mostly like, I mean, Debata basically tried to carry his team, but his team did lack the kind of, the
Yeah,
kind of,
especially at the bottom. I mean, that's where like the last two pilots really did not capitalize. I mean, Tabata really clean sweep the last heat number two, but
exactly.
yeah,
So I think what happened with Debata was what happened with GV FPV here. I mean, sorry, I would try to put Rex in the situation, but I think all of the team Bangalore pilots performed how they had to perform and they won. But if I could say it was like the situation with Prafula and Jivitesh, where Jivitesh was getting all the points for the teams from the back, or like Jivitesh was a sure bank of getting the points when in comparison to his teammates, and that is what kind of led to them being washed up like the way they did. So.
so we have six teams now. I mean, the final comment I would like to have from you is like who, like obviously you're supporting Bangalore, but after Bangalore, among the six teams, who do you think would be entering the finals? And let's assume that Bangalore enters the finals. Who would be the next competitor?
Okay. So this is gonna be like a challenge because I think Jaipur team is going to come out very strong in comparison that of Hyderabad. I have a feeling where Hyderabad knows that they are up against people who can fly in real life and can really haul some when it comes to sim racing. So I think Hyderabad does know that they are in a bit of a hot soup. So I think
Right.
the final race that we'll be seeing is going to be Bangalore versus Jaipur. So that is something that we have to obviously like we cannot unsee that part of the what do you say? I don't think I can see anybody else coming up top because I think the next race is going to be even more exciting just because of Aman and Devnath going up against each other. And you can say that even then after that as well, I don't know how the Suns will work, but Maharashtra. I mean, the Maharashtra people also have some really nice pilots to go up against Team Bangalore. So
Mhm.
you never know who's going to come out on top. But for sure, I think Devnath's team is looking very, very, very strong here.
Right. So, our viewers, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you so much, Raki. We are so fortunate and blessed to have you today, and we will continue the journey, co-commenting with you having co-commenting right till the end, as much as we can have you and beyond. It's a great start with you, and I think it worked out pretty well. The viewers enjoyed every bit of it. We had a lot of comments and answered very cleverly and on time and on spot by Raki from Team Bangalore. This
Obviously,
is the
the
story.
next race, the next streams are going to be much smoother, and I hope you guys. I hope to see you guys in chat again.
For
It was
sure,
really
yeah. Next
nice.
time we'll have it all fixed because this was just a one-time setup that needed to be done, and we have it
Exactly.
all now smooth out, and everything is good to go for the next one. So the next one again is going to be next Saturday, the same time, 9:30 p.m. The Saturday night live show that we have for you. It's going to be between Hyderabad and Jaipur. And also remember, you can also participate with their teams. If you are from Jaipur and Hyderabad, sign up for IDRL by going to droneracingindia.com or download the app from the Google Play and Apple app stores of IDRL and sign up, log in, and you will be taken through all the process that's needed to join this tournament. So that's it for the day, folks. We are already into the next day, Sunday. Hope you all have enjoyed this one. And we are now closing it up. Wishing you all the best, all good nights, and sweet dreams from our studios in Mumbai and across from Bangalore, where Rathi lives right now. So that's it from us. And Alvida, and take care. Thank you so much for tuning in. And see you in the next week.